want to build off something that Ms. Benford talked about at the beginning of this hearing regarding flexibility for states. I would take that a step further and say that, in fact, we need an entire overhaul of how we do transportation funding. We've got to free our infrastructure from the grip of big oil and car-centric planning by handing highway funding and administration entirely over to the states and redirecting the federal gas tax to support more bottoms-up initiatives. The Highway Trust Fund is running such a massive deficit that the gas tax couldn't meet its needs even if it were 5 times higher. And what is doled out is allocated without reference to the metrics that matter most, like how well projects connect people to jobs, services, and one another. The driving metric is simply more vehicle miles. And to the detriment of state budgets, the federal transportation system incentivizes states to build road after road without regard to future costs of maintenance, operation, and environmental impact. The solution to this is not tweaks to the gas tax or tweaks to transportation funding, it's devolution. Congress should leave highway taxation and spending entirely to the states and commensurately remove federal red tape and regulations on highways beyond a minimum standard of safety so that states and cities can use their dollars to address local mobility with organic solutions. Federal gas tax should remain, but be used instead to subsidize locally sponsored projects that promote walkability, micromobility, and transit. This is going to have 3 beneficial impacts. First, it will give states and cities more latitude that will encourage local innovation and help us find better transportation solutions. Second, it will compel an honest accounting of the cost of car-centric infrastructure. I heard this during this testimony as well from Secretary Millar about the safety impacts. I would hazard that we can spend as much money as we want. We can match the full $1.4 trillion that accidents cost us in funding the departments of transportation. But if we continue to build car-centric infrastructure, we're going to continue to get car accidents. And more tragically to the point, we're going to continue to kill pedestrians, which the United States is doing at an alarming and increasing rate. And finally, a transparent account of the cost of maintenance of highways will make it more likely that states implement strategies like congestion pricing and improved alternative mobility options like cycling lanes, rail, and on-demand transit. This transition will be disruptive to politicians and bureaucrats, but the net effect will be a lower carbon footprint, better mobility, and more walkable downtowns. And Chairman, I'd like to introduce to the record, submit to the record rather, the op-ed I wrote to this effect for Strong Towns.
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you. Mr. Millar, if you were free as Secretary of Transportation from federal regulations and the federal funding umbilical cord for highways, and instead you had to maintain your own highways with state-generated funds, and to think about transportation from first principles in your state, how might things change?
Mr. Carnes, that's a great question. Prior to COVID, federal funding was 15% of the budget of the Washington State DOT. It's currently about 30% of our budget, but it is a fraction, a very important and very, very welcome and appreciated fraction. But there are 2 things I don't do as Secretary of Transportation in Washington State. I don't appropriate the money, and I don't set policy. That's done by our state legislature. Our state legislature in the 23-25 biennium has invested $406 million in public transportation, invested $150 million in active transportation, invested substantially in decarbonizing our fleet. We're working with transit agencies across the state on decarbonization. If there's one thing I could do, and I've asked the legislature to consider this as they move forward, we have about 1,100 miles of highway, state highway in Washington State that go through population centers.
Good morning, friends. This is a major update. Residents in this state will be receiving a one-time direct payment this week, and thousands of households that meet all eligibility requirements are qualified to receive over $1,000. The IRS is also set to launch a new free tax filing platform. My dear friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video. Also, do stay tuned. I will be announcing the winners of yesterday's giveaway. Many Alaska residents will receive a direct payment of $1,312. as the state issues its permanent fund dividend. The dividend is a yearly return of money to residents based on Alaska's mineral revenues. They are generally paid if they intend to stay a state resident indefinitely. In 2023, the payment was designated to be $1,312 per person. Alaska Department of Revenue Commissioner Adam Crum said in a recent statement, the 2023 permanent fund dividend marks the 42nd year Alaskans have received their share of the state's natural resource wealth. So anyone who had an eligible not paid status by this past Wednesday and did not receive the 2023 permanent fund dividend payment can expect the cash this week. In 2023, Alaska processed 8,000 more applications than in 2022. In total, the permanent fund dividend brings $1 billion back into the Alaskan economy. To qualify, you must be a resident for the entire calendar year of 2023 and cannot claim residency or benefits in any other state since December 31st, 2022. Residents also are not eligible if they left the state for more than 180 days that year. Marcus Cross, a finance expert, has confirmed that the Alaskan Department of Revenue has historically made sure that residents benefit from the state's oil revenues. Cross told Newsweek, "It's a unique approach to ensure Alaskans benefit directly from their natural resources. The dividend aids in alleviating the high cost of living and boosts local economies through increased spending, while many other states cannot implement the same payback model because their natural resources differ from Alaska's." Cross says they could look into other ways of sharing revenue with residents. This is especially since federal stimulus payments ended several years ago. Following this week's payment, other residents should see their payments come through on February 15th and March 21st. The March payments will go to everyone with an application that has the same status by March 13th. In Alaska, a deadline is approaching for the program. The state stops accepting applications for the 2024 payment on March 31st. Applications opened on January 1st and are accepted via paper form or online. The proposed amount for 2024 under Governor Mike Dunleavy's budget would be more than $3,000, but the specifics have not been approved yet. Many other states have paid rebates to certain groups as a way to give money back from a budget surplus or to help their residents during a time of need. In California, the Clean Vehicle Rebate Project incentivizes residents to maintain a more sustainable lifestyle by driving electric vehicles. New York State also offers a Drive Clean rebate for electric cars, and Massachusetts has an electric vehicle program. Also, friends, according to experts, the Internal Revenue Service is rolling out its free electronic tax filing system. This is ahead of the 2023 tax filing season. The tax agency has said that the in-house filing system will be available in states as it undergoes final testing before expanding it nationwide at a later date. For now, the IRS is limiting its direct file tool to eligible taxpayers residing in select states, including Arizona, California, Florida, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, New York, Nevada, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Washington, and Wyoming. The IRS said Direct File will have a step-by-step checklist approach to filing that will allow taxpayers to go through their returns smoothly. The federal deadline for filing 2023 tax returns is April 15th for most filers. However, deadlines vary for state tax returns, and the IRS expects more than 128 million people to file individual tax returns this year. Well, my magnificent and most marvelous friends, That is the end of my daily stimulus update video for today. My dear friends, thank you so much for being part of this community. To say thank you, I will be announcing several winners every Friday for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter these weekly giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. The winners of yesterday's giveaway is Paulette Ashford and Montreville Blakely. Congratulations, my dearest friends. To claim your gift cards, please check your notifications page and send me a message. Or, my friends, you could message me on my Facebook page.